a little bit of vintage motoring for you, and if you want to know more about that, then stay tuned. That's coming up later. But first, a little bit of shameless publicity for our website, which doesn't just sell model railway stuff, it also sells car videos. So get yourselves over there and pick up a car video, including my exclusive interview with Jimmy McRae on DVD. So there you go. Now, we film lots of cars on this channel, as you can imagine, and every so often we come back with more footage than we end up using on a video. And I always think, you know, it's a damn pity that we don't get a chance to do more of the driving shots. So I thought for this episode we would show some more of the driving shots that we get of some of the cars. And I make no apology for this, because they're some of the best shots that we've done, and I thought that you guys, being car enthusiasts, would like to see the cars running. Unfortunately, the sound isn't always brilliant, so I might put some music on some of it, but the first car is that gorgeous Vincent MPH.
To go out on all his jobs?
Not all of them, no.
So do you get to have a drive in all the cars he goes to see then?
Yeah, I'm on top, but not to drive.
It's fine. Yeah. And then suddenly you get to Cambridgeshire and you get to Huntingdon and there are no hedges and it's fens and fen roads and it's bitter.
Yeah,
and there's no protection in this from the side winds. I've got a friend who's got a Arden.
We will do some more of those clips of cars that we filmed, you know, just the driving shots and so on, or some drone shots. Just let us know in the comments below if you like that, and we will do some more. Now, we as I said, we filmed the cars, a lot of cars, and given that there was tracking shots in the last one, I thought I would show you some of the kit that we used to film. And this is one of the newest bits that I've got. In fact, I got it after I did the Vincent MPH. So take a look at this. If things make life easier for the disabled, it makes it very easy for the abled. So there's something for everyone on this video. But one of the things that I mentioned was that when I'm filming cars, there's a lot of physical effort involved, and I've had to find ways of reducing that. One of the first things that I found difficult when filming cars was the action shots, cars driving past, because you have to walk up and down the cars driving past, and although I enjoyed that aspect of it, it became harder and harder and harder. And it was one of the first things to hit me with this disability of multiple sclerosis. And other people will have similar problems, and maybe you're filming other things like traction engines or lorries, and you want to have a different perspective. Now, one of the things that I did first to get around the problem is I used one of these. It's a suction cup, which worked very well. It basically locks onto the car, onto the flat surface of the lorry or whatever you're filming, and you can set the camera at different angles and you know, set up your shot to get a very different perspective. Now, the problem with those is if the surface isn't perfectly smooth or it's greasy, this can come undone, and that can mean losing a very expensive camera. So here's a solution that I found on the internet recently, and I thought I'd give it a try. So here's the latest gadget we're going to test out. If I can get focus. There we go. It's, as it says, a magnetic mount for cameras. I film a lot of cars for one of my other YouTube channels, and as though you can get suction cups to affix cameras to cars, when the surface isn't perfectly smooth, they don't hold. So I thought I'd try this, a magnetic mount, which I bought through eBay, and I'll put the link in the description below. So what's inside? Inside the box you get instructions. Pretty straightforward. This loosens it all off and tightens it all up. You've got the magnetic base, which is obviously how it attaches to the car, and a GoPro mount at the top. Now, rather than test this out with an expensive camera on top, I think it's prudent to just stick it on the car, test it on a shoot. Right, you get a clever locking mechanism in the top. So you have the option of this so that you can attach a camera to the top there using an ordinary camera mount, or use this quick release knob to remove, like so, and use this just purely for attaching a GoPro. So what you do is you lock that in place, press that down, and as you can see it squeezes it together, holds the GoPro in place, so it doesn't have the usual screws, but it's a very quick release, very effective mechanism, and you do get a spare one of these as well. And success, it's still there. Just need to stiffen that. Ready to work. Now, I was in North Wales and I was filming some video for our sister channel, Enwin's Models, and I got some lovely narrow gauge footage. So please pop over there and subscribe and take a look, because there's quite a good lot of good stuff there as well, including the products available from our website. But whilst I was up there, I bumped into a load of vintage cars that were driving around all day, and I bumped into them in a car park. So here's a little bit from the Vintage Sports Car Club and their foray around a very wet Blaenau Ffestiniog.
Because that's because we're in the UK, you'd need to go and get something. 21, sorry? No, they're electric. All electric.
And a Singer over here. The VSCC, the Vintage Sports Car Club. And this is a Hotchkiss apparently. Rolls Royce. An Austin 7 Special.
Yeah, sorry.
He's got
a bit slow on the uptake.
left hand side. Yeah, so it's
Yeah, great group.
Where was it bodied? In the UK or was it?
fun, aren't they?
Magnificent. Singer Junior, have a look at this. How's that for a gear lever? God, love that gear lever when I'm learning to drive. That would have been fun.
Yeah, there's another one there. Look. That's,
yeah,
the green one. Right, would you like to climb aboard and I'll photograph you?
I'm at the beginning of the day, not the end. Actually, no, it's chucking it down.
Photograph this wonderful property.
A very nice group of people. I exchanged details and fingers crossed we'll have some more vintage car stuff on the channel soon. In fact, if you have a vintage car, a classic car, a kit car or a low volume specialist car that you think we'd be interested in, drop me an email to nwinseats@gmail.com. Send a couple of photos of your car, and especially if you're in the Northwest or North Wales, which makes it a little bit easier, and we could be coming up and doing a feature on you and your car. Thank you ever so much to everybody who's been hitting the like and subscribing, because it really does help us a lot. Hitting that thumbs up, that tells people like us that there's something here that they will enjoy, and that helps boost the channel and helps me to generate a little bit more so that I can go a bit further and do more. There's so many things I'd like to film if we had the income from this, so it really does make a difference. And even more so when you hit the bell. If you hit the bell and you hit all, then you are a subscriber who will be told when the next video lands, and I am trying ever so hard to keep the quality of the videos up If there's something that you'd really like to see, or something that you've enjoyed, leave a comment below and we will definitely love to hear from you. In the meantime, I will start preparing the next video and I will see you then.